Good morning, good morning. I don't know why I feel like as soon as I get on this, it's not like I go to sniffling. I wasn't sniffling in there no time before now. Wow. Good morning. Y'all see I'm on my lemonade this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all see what the title of it is. Y'all see what the title is, right? Y'all see what the title is? Take your attention off the attack. Good morning. Good morning, Sheila. I see you popped in. Good morning. I don't even know how to do this on this side. It's okay. I ain't finna even play with it. Let me see. Okay. I did it. Yeah. Good morning. I guess it's a morning. It's definitely a morning. And it's a good one, too. I gotta say it's a good one, too. It's definitely a good morning because we still, I guess they used to say back in the days, we still in the land of the living. I guess that's what it is. I'm not sure. Back in the day, we say, oh, well, oh, thank you, we're in the land of the living. But I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if we're in the land of the living. I know people were questioning that all the time, like, oh, where are we? I'm like, I don't know if we're in the land of the living, for real. Because I believe that we might be in the land of the dying. People dying out this land every single day. So this might be the land of the dying. I don't know. I'm not sure. I always question that when I hear people say, oh, thank you for being in the land of the living. I don't know. I don't know. We might just be in the land of the dying. People dying every day. I think somehow or another, I don't know if certain, churches or certain hospitals or certain institutions that people be, but I don't know if people are really addressing this bereavement thing. I don't know if this bereavement is really being addressed in the capacity by which I think that it could be. And maybe this is my assignment. Maybe I got my scrubs on today. Maybe this is my assignment. Maybe this is the time when I'm supposed to step up and address these things. Maybe, once everything become a little bit more like finalized, and maybe this is time where I'm supposed to just, talk to the people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm supposed to just talk to the people. You know what I'm saying? About this bereavement, about, these deaths, man. Deaths every single day. I'm getting a phone call or, people coming through, and it's hitting close. It's hitting close. It hit close with my child. I buried a son, and it hit close with my mom. And I know I'm not the only one out here. I know I'm not the only one out here that actually is dealing with this same construct, of death. And death just seems so permanently separated, right? Like, it just seems so permanent. Somebody came the other day, and I used to cut, yeah, it's just kind of, right. And so he told me that his brother was out in the yard doing some yard work, and just fell out in the yard and had a massive heart attack in the yard out there doing yard work, and never recovered, just never recovered. And so that was in September. All this time I didn't know. So people are leaving this earth, some people are just leaving this earth, and you don't even know it. All you know is they no longer, interacting with them or whatever, but you don't ever know what the situation is. And when he come in here and tell me that his brother passed away, and he buried his brother around Labor Day weekend, I'm like, oh. So this death is prevalent. It's in the earth. And people are dying at this earth every single day. And it's people being born into the earth too. So we can't leave that side of the diaspora, because they're coming in. They're coming in the earth right here, and they're leaving out right here. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's just kind of, it's a reverberating situation. And I never really thought about this for a second. And my great-grandmother, bless her heart, she used to say, my great-great-grandmama, Mama Essie. Mama Essie used to say, baby, every year has its number. And I never knew what she was talking about. She used to say, baby, every year has its number, which means every year has its own amount of people that will either come into the earth, like be born, or leave out the earth that through death. And so it's so real. Death is so real. And everybody got to go that route. Everybody got to go that route. And a young man that was talking to me, he's 55 years old like myself. We're both double nickels. And so I think the reality of the matter is that we all got to go. No matter what jobs we hold, no matter what career path that we chose while we were here on earth, no matter what we did, nurses, doctors, lawyers, teachers, preachers, it don't matter what you did while you was on this earth. You still got to go that route. And so, I guess it's just their time before ours, right? I guess it's just their time. It's just their time. It's just their season for them to go before us. And so they actually become our ancestors. That's how I have to look at it. Because I promise you, on everything I love, to bury a child, I'm gonna just sit here and talk to y'all today. And maybe this thing called death is something that we're gonna have to touch on. It's a part of the diaspora. It's a part of it, and all of it. Y'all remember I said this? All of it is a part of it. And I don't know if they're being, if it's being talked about in the capacity by which we're gonna have ability to talk about it. We're gonna have the ability to talk about it. To really like go into depth. To depth, DEPTH. Yeah, we're gonna be able to go into depth about the whole construct of death, DEATH. And so yeah, it's a real situation. It's a real situation, y'all. It's real. And so I have no other choice, as a a paraprofessional, as a person that, have a degree, in these areas, and then have certifications to top off those degrees in these areas. And I think I'm going to just have to go through it and just get it done, because it's a need. It's a need out here. It's a need. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. How do I do this? And so there's a need. So there's a need. So there's a need here in the earth, just to talk about this whole thing called bereavement, this whole thing called death, this whole thing called is there such thing as life after death? Nobody really know. If you think about this for a second, nobody has came back and told us that whether or not it's real or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it a real, is it real situation? Like, is it a real situation? And so nobody has came back and actually told us that, whether or not it was real or not. And so I don't know. All we know is what's been told to us over the years. You know, that's all we really know is what's been said over the years. And so we don't really know. Nobody has really came back and said it. And so we don't know. We don't know what happened. We don't know. We don't know. And so we're gonna definitely touch on those subjects like that. We're gonna definitely stay on the alkaline side of our thought as it pertains to that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna have to stay on this side of the spectrum. This is the acidic side. This is the alkaline side, and this is what was downloaded into my spirit. To tell, you know, some people tell people to keep their body. This is your pH in your body, the pH in your mind, and the pH in your spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's mind, body, and spirit. And so all three of them have to be alkaline. And yeah, so I'm saying that I'm sorry. I feel like I'm about to sneeze in this corner right here this morning. Y'all excuse me for 1 second. Like, wow, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. But anyway, yeah. So we're gonna do what need to be done. Yeah, we're gonna do what need to be done, and then we're gonna move forward like how we've always done. We just have to know that all of it is a part of it. Everything that we're enduring in this thing called life is a part of the life that we're supposed to endure. And so we have no other choice but to endure it. You know, we can stay ducked off from it and try to stay maneuvering around it. But the reality of the matter is everybody got to go through that way. Everybody got to go that route. And I think that what that dude, what he shared with me, my brother the other day, you know, he shared with me that he's buried his brother. And him and his brother lived together. His brother moved down, was a trucker. And so he was in and out every other weekend. He'll be, you know, over the road over the weekend, and he'll come back home. And then that's when they have their little interaction time. That was his younger brother. His brother was 2 years younger than him. So, you know, and I knew him, you know what I'm saying? He was 53, you know what I'm saying? And we're both 55. So we was both like the older brothers. And he just looked at me with this look in his eyes, like saying like, man, I buried my best friend. Like, you know, he done been through so much with his brother, you know what I'm saying? 2 marriages, you know what I'm saying? Baby, he only had 1 child, 1 little girl. She's in college. And I'm like, wow. So we sat here, and you know, for me to have to sit there and hear and listen to what he said and listen to what he, what he was going through as a 55-year-old man. And I know I done been through it too with my son and, so with my mother, he buried his mother too about a year after I buried mine. And I'm just like, it's so, and these are good, wholesome brothers, like regular old solid dudes, you feel me? Solid brothers, dude. And I think we just got to support each other, man. We're going to have to support each other somehow or another. We're going to have to take our attention off the attack, because sometimes I think that even death can be, considered an attack, even the death, and bereavement. And, and, man, it's just a real situation, y'all. It's real. It's real, and it's forever in the earth, and it's forever present in the earth. Death is, and people are dying out this earth every single day, and we're going to talk about it. I think I'm qualified. I think I'm going to delve into it just a little bit more than what I ever seen any other counterpart do, like any pastor, because usually in a normal condition we just have bereavement ministries or whatever the case may be, but they don't really talk about it in the pulpit. They don't really talk about it in the pulpit about death. And so we're going to touch into that. We're going to tap into that, and I know that there's 7 stages. 7 stages of bereavement. Yeah, with 7 stages. 7 stages of bereavement. Grief counseling. There's 7 stages of grief. And I think the thing about these stages is I don't want to go into it right now, because I really want to actually sit down and do some study, but I really want to give y'all a briefing, being that this is heavy on our heart right now, and death is such a prevalent thing around us in the earth realm at this moment. Death is just prevalent. People dying every day, And the most almost disturbing thing is they show our ethnicity as the people with the gun violence type of deal. But people in other ethnicities pass away too through gun violence. You know what I'm saying? Like you go into a Hispanic culture, people pass away with with that same thing. You know what I'm saying? I think we just get the blunt of the news media through our celebrities and things of that nature. They always, they're forced that type of construct in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? But I think that people all over the world is dying because of gun violence. How about wars? How about the wars? People don't die in war. That's gun violence, right? Or no? So that's different. So we got some talking to do, y'all. It says when you lose someone you love, it's hard to imagine life without them. And every loss comes with pain and adjustment we need to make. And we are not alone. And knowing the 7 stages of grief might help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I can tell you right now, in the midst of that tunnel, I don't know if you feel like there's any light. I don't know. Grief actions are different for each and every individual. Grief, like the way they deal with grief is different from each and every individual deal with grief differently. So it's no one construct across the board and say, oh, you got exactly 2 weeks on the head to get over it. You know what I'm saying? They've been now in the grave 2 weeks, and now it's time to get up. Nah, that's not how that go. That ain't how I go, y'all. I'm telling y'all right now, that's not how I go. It is definitely based on the individual. it's definitely based on the individual. And I can tell you that it was a year later for me. I'm still, because I think that when you go through this type of trauma, because it can be considered trauma. People can have PTSD from somebody that's close to them, their child passed away. And now they have to deal with the whole ideology of never ever seeing this person ever again. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I'd never see my child ever again. I'll never see him ever again. So that's it. I would have never in a million years guessed that I would have buried a child. I just would have never, it's never crossed my mind. And so we're going to learn how to cope, like coping with the loss and dealing with all the emotions and the emotions of grief. We're going to have to learn how to do that. Like, just cope with it. And I think that and then there's nothing that I could have said to that dude yesterday that was sitting there telling me with tears in the corner of his eye, trying to hold him back. He was just trying to do everything in his head to kind of hold his tears back and make them fall back in his eyes about his brother. And so, since it's so real in the earth, and I just think I just need to go ahead on and get that shirt. Yeah. And have the ability to talk to you guys strictly about grief counseling. Yeah, and counsel us psychologically, emotionally, spiritually through the grief, through the whole process, man. You know, through the whole entire process. We got to go through the whole entire process. You know what I'm saying? Because the number one thing first for grief is shock and denial. That's the first one. You be in shock. You be like, wait a minute. Ooh-wee. To hear my son's mother call me screaming at the top of her lungs, like, please tell me this is not real. She screamed. I knew it was something wrong when I first picked the phone up and just like, hello. I just knew it was something wrong. It's just, you just know in your body, in your mind. And how about the people that's in the military? How about individuals in the military, they got to get that knock on the door, like, you know, it's a knock on the door. You know, so it's just so many things that, and so many levels by which we can talk about this grief. How about people that go through grief with their pets? They done had this dog for 7 years, 8 years. That was their best buddy, their best friend. You know what I'm saying? Their best little, you know what I'm saying, a little pet. You know, I've had to counsel or talk to an individual that lost their dog. And my mom was one of them. She had to put her dog down. And when I tell you, she cried, oh man, like a newborn baby. She was crying like that type of cry. You know what I'm saying? About her dog. I sat there on the phone with my mom for about an hour, just hearing her out. I didn't say a word. She just was full. And she had just did it a couple of hours earlier. And I'm like, what? She put her dog down because his hip went out on him. And then he had an abscess on his hip. And they couldn't afford to cut it. And if they would have cut it, then there was still a 50% chance that the dog still wouldn't have made it. So she said, let's not cut on the dog and just let it just, and it just progressively got worse and worse on his hind leg, got worse and worse. And then all of a sudden they couldn't walk anymore. He couldn't walk anymore. The dog couldn't walk. And so she had to put the dog down. So, and this is a 80-pound dog, 100-pound dog, you know what I'm saying? Like a German Shepherd, beautiful German Shepherd. Every police officers that used to see this German Shepherd, like, that's your dog. Like they look at him like that's supposed to be with us type of deal, you know. And she loved that dog, and she went through some trauma. That was trauma for my mother, because she was like, even after the dog was gone, she can still hear the dog scratching in the house, even after the dog was gone already. I was like, what? She was like, she still hearing movement in the house. Even after the dog was gone, she still was hearing movement back there as if the dog was still present. And so I was like, you know, that type of stuff, the shock of it all. I don't know why I'm on the subject right now, y'all. I don't listen. I didn't call you. Y'all see what my topic of the thing was. You know, said from, you know, take your attention off the attack and refocus on the assignment. That was my topic for the day. Take your attention off the attack. You got to listen. You're gonna have to. An attack come in so many different forms. The attack come in forms. Attack come in so many different forms, y'all. You'll be surprised how many forms the attack will come into. You have to be careful. We got to be real mindful. We have to be conscious. We have to be thoughtful. We have to pay attention. Attacks come in so many different forms. And so there's no one specific way that the enemy or that the situation will attack you. It could come in different forms. It could come in in the form of a significant other. The attack can, if you think about it for a second, it could come in the form of a significant other. You know what I'm saying? And so there's different emotions during this stage of denial and shock. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through mourning. You know what I'm saying? You could through sadness and confusion and discomfort. All those stages hit hard. When you come through discomfort and confusion and sadness and mourning, yeah, absolutely. They can hit hard. They can hit hard. But we have to know that, you know, pain and guilt is the second one. See, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a whole study myself before I can actually talk about it and before I can actually give it to y'all, like, you know, say dead center, like how I want to at this moment. I'm gonna get the credentials needed. I'm gonna get the credentials needed just because I don't think that I want to be able to be certified, you know, like have a grief counseling cert. And I started one time and didn't do it. And so what I want to do is get that certification on my name so I can kind of like go all the way in the capacity by which I know I have the ability to do that. And so right now I'm just basically reading off the thing, because you can go to your phone right now and say 7 stages, but it's not the same as when a person can guide you through the process. Yeah, it's not the same. And so we're gonna go through that process, but I don't want to delve too deep into it right now, because I want to just have the ability to really go all the way in. But right now, my assignment is actually to tell you to take your focus off the attack and refocus it on the assignment. Whatever the assignment is in your life. If you're trying to buy a home, you know what I'm saying? If you're getting ready to buy a car, if you're trying to go get your driver's license, you know what I'm saying? Because we have different people that will see this live or see this session will eventually, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're dealing with at that moment, you know what I'm saying? This might not even be for the people that's on the earth right now. You know what I'm saying? The universe might be setting this thing up to where I'm talking to somebody that haven't even been born yet. You know, so I don't know. All I know All I know is I just gotta move forward in obedience. Be here in the 9 o'clock hour every morning, Monday through Thursday, in the 9 o'clock hour. I have to be here and talk to the minds of the people. As time progresses and as I become more comfortable, y'all know I'm one of the brothers that is not 100% computer savvy. I'm that brother that need help, you know what I'm saying? But if you put me in a classroom and say, go get the doctorate degree, then I'll do it. You know, just like I went in the classroom and got the AA. I've been in the classroom and got the, you know, the BA. And went in the classroom and got the MA. So, you know, I done been in classrooms and I got them. And I got the degrees on the wall to prove that point. But that's not even here nor there. I'm just here. I don't even think if I had a degree or not, that if the universe said, open up that laptop and talk to the minds of the people, then that's just something I have to do. And so whatever the repercussions are behind me being obedient, I'm just going to be, I'm going to have to flow with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to flow with it based on the fact that, you know, I have an assignment on my life. I have a call on my life. And it's to talk to the minds of the people. Y'all see I put my scrubs on today. I got my scrubs on today. These are scrubs. I got my scrubs on today. I had to put these scrubs on. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that just that whole overall mindset of death, and everybody got to do it. All of us have to do it. That's not one person on the earth living right now that doesn't have to go through that same process. Because think about this for a second. Just like in is a part of in is a part of out, and out is a part of in, up is a part of down, and down is a part of up, right? You can't have one without the other. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one without the other. So they're all a part of each other. You know what I'm saying? Up is a part of down. Just like in is a part of out. Just like yin is a part of yang. How you gonna have yin without yang? You're gonna need both. Both of them is a part of each other. And so like death is a part of life. And life is a part of death. And so, and it's even remarkable that he said that in order to have life, you got to die. That is remarkable. He said, in order to have life, you have to die first. So we all had to die to our sins and iniquities. We all had to die to ourselves and surrender ourselves over to the construct by which we believe that he is, you know, so our Lord and Savior through faith and through belief and through confession, you know. So we, in order to do that, we had to die to our own individual selves in order to live in him. And so, yeah, you know, so I don't know, y'all. We gonna have to make this thing, we're gonna have to make this thing, become real. We're gonna have to make this thing become real. Yeah. We're going to have to make this thing become real. Yeah. We're going to have to make this thing become real. But we know that in the processes of us moving forward as a unit, as a culture, as a nation, as a community, as a society, as a world, you know, we're going to have to just do better, man. We're going to have to do better with ourselves. And I don't think it's 100% gun violence. I think it's eating right according to your blood type. I think it's eating according to your blood type is a significant strategy that you can use to add more days or more years to your life. You know, I don't think it actually buffers us from dying though. But it could have buffered that dude from dying because he was a big dude and he was a trucker. And so he just, they eat, truckers, they like kind of like unhealthy because they eat a lot and they sit down and they prostate all the time. And I heard like, that bouncing, that truck just bouncing up and down, like this shit just bouncing in your stomach, just bouncing up and down. It just keep everything just, out of whack. And so we're going to have to do better as a people and as a society. And just understand that we have to move this thing forward in life. You know what I'm saying? And as much as the attack coming your way, somehow or another, you're going to have to refocus and get your attention off that attack and then put your attention back on your assignment. And whatever the assignment is in your life, as far as you moving forward, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Whether you getting ready to purchase a new home, focus your attention back on your assignment. You know what I'm saying? Whether you getting ready to buy, a new car, or whether you got, you have, an assignment with a 501c3 that you're getting ready to open up, or, that you just trying to move forward in whatever thing it is that you have in life. It don't matter what it is. I can tell you this, move forward. Move forward in your stuff. Move forward in the things that you have to, refocus your attention back on your assignment, because the distractions are real and the attacks are real, but we don't have to necessarily stay anchored to it. I think that's where depression come in at, even with this thing called death. If you ponder it too long, and you stay right there in the midst of it a long period of time, then depression, and then anxiety will come if you ponder that stuff too long and you just absorb it hook, line, and sinker, and you swallow it all the way down into your DNA. Yeah, it has the capacity to take you all the way out of here. It has the capacity to break you all the way down and then build you, and then you just in a funk. You just in a little funky position. And we don't want that. Not on my watch, not on my time, not in my season. We don't want that. We don't want that. And so I'm going to help us through the process. You heard me say us. I'm going to help. Okay, I've been on this thing 39 minutes. So y'all know I'm just trying to. This is the last day. This is our last day. It's our last day together for the week. This is actually like my Friday. Today is Thursday, right? Yeah, today Thursday. December 1st already? Well, let me tell y'all something. Hey, this year went by fast, right? This year went by fast, didn't it? It just went by fast for me. Nah, it went by fast. Yeah, I know it went by fast. And so, we're here. We're going to have to get out of stuck, though. We're going to have to get out of being stuck. We're going to have to get out of being stuck. Because I believe that our gratefulness, like of us just being thankful and grateful and appreciative, I think that our gratefulness initiate new seasons in our lives. I believe that it's the key. It's actually a key. Gratefulness is that unlocks the door to a new season. When you're just grateful and you're thankful and you give thanksgiving to the creator of all this and the person who we know spoke all this into existence? It has to be a creator if it's a creation. And so our gratefulness initiate new seasons in our lives. And so somehow or another, y'all, we got to go from being stuck to a season of surplus. Somehow or another. We can't stay, this is not the time to stay stuck in any shape, form, or fashion of the word. This is not the time or the season to stay stuck. Stay stuck in your psychological maladaptive behaviors. Stay stuck in dysfunctions and disorders. They stay stuck in dis-ease in our body that's causing inflammation and pain. This is not the time that we got to stay stuck in any shape, form, or fashion of the word. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when I feel stuck, when I feel like when we say the surf, it's almost like when you have sneakers on or you have shoes on, right? Let's just say you have boots on and you working in concrete. And if you don't move around that concrete enough, what's going to happen? If you don't move around that concrete and you stay in the same spot for a long period of time and then let that sun hit you and it dry up, what's going to happen? You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck. That's how I feel. I don't know. When I see that word stuck, I always think about concrete. Like it's just, you just stuck right there in concrete, like stuck. You can't move your feet. You can't move. And this is not the season to be stuck in any shape, form, or fashion in the word. Don't be stuck in your mind. Don't be stuck back in 2021. Don't be stuck back in 2020 when we had the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Don't get stuck in all that type of stuff. Because if you get stuck back there and the world continually move forward, then you're going to be left. You're going to be left behind. You're going to be left behind. And I don't know if people are going to come back and try to unstick you from a psychological perspective. They're going to say to themselves, they're going to look back at you and say, man, you still stuck on what happened to you 15 years ago. You still stuck on the fact that when you was 15 years old, your mom said something to you when you were 15, and now you're 35. So now that's 15 years, that's 20 years ago that she's, when you was 15 years old, she said something to you that just disturbed your spirit. And then now you're 35 years old. That means 20 years later, you still stuck on a thing that your mom said to you as a low-key hater, because your mom can be a hater too. I don't know if y'all understand that whole concept because it's some women, it's some little girl, it's some girls out here their mom was jealous of them. And they had her. That's their seed. And it's discord. It's discord between mama and daughter. But the Bible says it was going to be that way, right? Just like a seed, like, a man like myself can have a son, can have a child. And they could somehow or another fall out. How can you fall out with the seed, with your seed? The person who brought you into this world, you should be able to honor that person even if you don't honor them in no other aspect of the word, you should be able to honor them in the capacity by which they brought you into this world. Now, how about people that killed their mother and their father? Oh. How about children that killed their mother and their father? You need to tell me I birthed you into this world to be taken out by you? Ooh-wee. That got to be one of the most hurtful feelings in this world, man. I don't know why I'm on this subject. I didn't come here for this. I on everything I love, I promise y'all, I came here to tell y'all to take your attention off of the attack and refocus it on the assignment. That was my assignment for you. Take your attention off the attack. Whatever the attack is in your mind and in your body and in your spirit and in your circle and in your surrounding areas, in your circumference, whatever it is, take your attention. Don't give it all 100% your focus. Because if I promise you, if you give it 100% your focus and your attention, then guess what? The attack gonna become more prevalent. That means that's gonna be here. You got to put it back down here. You got to put it back down. You got to bring it down. You got to break it back down. You cannot allow the attack to be so prevalent in your mind and in your overall conscious well-being. It will break you down. It'll cause depression if you're not careful. It'll cause you to have anxiety if you're not careful. It'll cause you to be broken down in your creative skill sets, and your innovative construct will not even be prevalent anymore if you let that attack supersede your mind. If you let that attack be 51% of your mind, and then 49% is under you out of order. You out of order. So we got to go from being stuck to a season of surplus. You know what I'm saying? We got to go from a season of being suffering, because I promise you, death is a suffering type of thing, man. Death, if you just stay stuck on the whole idea that that person is no longer here, and you could stay stuck on it, it'll cause you to go down into some deep, dark depression if you're not careful. And so I'm here for no other reason but to help you tweak your mind, to help you tweak your thoughts, to make sure that the most predominant thought in your mind is the positive side of the construct. The most predominant thought in your mind has to be on the alkaline side of thought. It has to be right here. You know what I'm saying? This is the acidic side. And you know, on the acidic side, we have everything down here. We have death and destruction. This got to be life. If death is down here, then life got to be up here. Just like if light got to be up here, darkness got to be here. Just like masculinity got to be here, femininity got to be here. Just like lender got to be here, borrower have to be here. You know what I'm saying? Just like let's say positivity got to be here, negativity got to be here. And so he took me to the hourglass era that we're in right now. The universe brought me to the hour. He said, tell them that this is their pH in their body. And so this is where I am right now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But if we got to go from suffering got to be down here in the low vibrations. But then at the same time, surplus got to be up here, just like abundance got to be up here. Lack got to be down here. You know what I'm saying? So we have to have the understanding of where we are. And so suffering got to be down here. And suffering is a part of the diaspora, is it not? Isn't pain a part of the diaspora? All of it is a part of it. And so if all of it is a part of it, all of it is a part of it, all of it. We can't deny any part. We cannot deny any part. Any part. We can't deny any part, y'all, because all of it is real. And so we're moving forward. We got to move onward. We got to strive towards perfection, even though I think that's a goal that we'll never hit. I don't think we'll ever hit perfection. How will we ever hit perfect? Be perfect in all our ways. That's impossible. Because in order to hit perfection, that means you would have to be perfect from the day you were born. Right? You just can't be perfect in one day and act like I did it perfectly in one day. Nah. You gotta do that. You gotta, how about them days? How about them all them 365 days time, whatever, how many years you are? How about them many days that you have to confess that you was not perfect? And you was not walking toward perfection. And so there's a great amount that we have to do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to go from suffering to surplus. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to move out, move forward, move on, move inward. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to move it. We're going to have to. Because there's so many things out here that can destroy. And there's so many things out here that can distract us and distort our vision. It could distort. It could distract, distort, discourage, disorient. You walk around here disoriented, like, ooh, walking around here disoriented, discombobulated. How about that? You walk around here discombobulated. And so we have to gain our footing. We're going to have to anchor our footing in the belief that everything is going to be all right. In spite of anything that we might be going through at this moment, we're going to anchor our footing in the fact that everything going to be all right. In some shape, form, or fashion or another, it's going to be okay. "52 minutes in, y'all. Y'all only got me for about 8 more minutes now. I keep telling y'all, he told me to talk to the minds of the people in the 9 o'clock hour, Monday through Thursday, in the 9 o'clock hour. And so this mindfulness, we're going to have to, if we actually lived in a season, because it's all ups and downs, it's all trials and tribs, right? So if we've lived in a season of delay and denial, let's just say hypothetically speaking for a second, that we have lived in a season, we existed we pitched a tent, if you will, in a season of delay and denial. We did that. We're going to have to transform that season, babe. My brother. Whoever watching this at the moment by which you'll be watching this live, I might not even be on the earth anymore. 40 years from now, I'm gone. I'll be 95 years old. It'd be time to check out anyway in 40 more years. So half of my life is already over. I'm 55 years old. I'm double nickels. Half of my life is if the reality is told, I probably won't live to 110. And so if he give me 55 more years, that's a blessing. That's 55 more years. But still, I can still say half of my life is already over right now. And the reality of the matter is, it's true. Anybody that's going to live a long period of time like this here. Yeah. And so the season of delay and denial will have to be transformed into a season of divine deliverance. Ooh-wee. Divine deliverance. When you're divinely delivered, yeah, you can operate then. You can operate in 100%, your 100% spectrum. You'll have the ability to operate. And so I'm thankful. I'm grateful that y'all did tap in and chime in and kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm thankful, y'all. And I'm grateful. And I'm thankful for just being obedient and coming on and talking to the minds of the people, because I'm telling you, we finna get this stuff together, man. Listen, that bereavement thing is real. That grief counseling thing is real. I want to be able to host a whole grief counseling session. But I'm going to start charging you. Listen, I've been on this thing and I haven't made one dime. And right now it's not even about the money, but I do got to I still got to monetize and somehow or another find out how, you know what I'm saying? But I still, you know what I'm saying? But I do this at the obedience of my heart. because he said do it. The universe gave me my assignment, told me to open that laptop. I'm telling you right now, had I not opened that laptop, I don't think I'd be here right now. I don't think I'd even be here right now. That's how intense it was. And then he took me back to the day that I made a promise to him when I was in the penitentiary. He took me back to the day that I made a promise to him when I was incarcerated. And he said, remember what you told me? He reminded me of what I told him. And that's what made me know that it was serious. That's how I knew that it was serious when he said that, when it came back to my memory. I'm like, I got to do this. And y'all go back to my first day. I think it was October 15th. I have not, you know what I'm saying? I've been here. You know, I've been here. And so, yeah, I got my assignment. I have the backing. If I need a backing to do this, whatever I need, I'll be willing to get it, and help the minds of the people, and help, people transform, what I'm saying, and move from a season of delayed and denial, what I'm saying, because delayed not necessarily is denial. You know that already. Just because something is delayed don't mean that the universe has denied it all 100%. Sometimes delayed is better for you. Sometimes when you're delayed in the process, sometimes it's better because now it's slow cooking. It can cook slow. It ain't no microwave type situation where you just, put it in the microwave and it's done instantly. And, instant gratification. That's not what this might be. So delay sometime might be a beautiful thing. Okay, if you think I'm joking, then I just felt in my spirit somebody thinking, like, how can delay be? Okay, let me tell you. It was a reason why you couldn't find your keys that morning. How about that? It was a reason why you could not find your keys that morning. When your keys was right under your nose and you couldn't find them, you looked everywhere. And it took you 15, 20 minutes to relocate your key. Like, wait a minute, I just had my keys. You don't even remember you stuck them in the door and forgot they was there. In the door, stuck in the lock. And you done went around checking your bed, checking your under the dresser, checking up the floor. I'm like, where did my keys go? You don't think that delay was purposeful? Because I promise you, had you had those keys and you ran out the door and you would have been at that stop sign or at that light when that Big Mac truck was coming through the light and ran the red light, you got the green way, but he not paying attention on his phone somewhere, looking at something else, trying to find his location, and at the same time, didn't even notice the light was red. And he run the light while you got the green way and he ran the red light. You would have been right there at that moment being T-boned. Ooh-wee. So delay is a good thing sometimes. You was delayed that morning. You might have waited to work late. You might have made it work late. But you made it work. How about that? If you'd have been on time, you would have never made it to work that morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see how that works? So delay is good. Sometimes delay is a beautiful thing. Just don't try to figure this stuff out. Go with the flow. Sometimes the flow is the way to go. Go with the flow. Sometimes going with the flow is the way to go. On everything I love, it's the way to go. I promise you it is. It's the way to go. It's the way to go. And so just know that as I wrap this up, it's an hour. It's an hour and 10 seconds over. Hey, look, just know that I love y'all. I love y'all. I at one time in my life, I wasn't able to say that. I didn't like people. Am I the only one on this live right now that didn't like people, don't really trust people? People are something else, y'all. They down with you today and they gone tomorrow. Ooh-wee. They down with you today and they will cross you tomorrow. I never really trusted people. And I probably still have a little bit of that residue in me right now. And I think that's okay. That's a buffer. I put a buffer in place. That's a buffer. We call those buffers in the psychological realm. Sometimes you have to put buffers in place, just so your heart don't always be hurt all the time. You walk around here wearing your feelings on your sleeve if you want to. A dude will trample all over your sleeve. They'll trample all over your sleeve. They'll trample all over your sleeve. I promise you. You wear your heart on your sleeve if you want to, and see where your heart gonna be trampled all over. And so, these are buffers that we all have to put in place. I had to put a buffer in my place in my mind, for my mother and my son. I had to put a buffer in place. Like the buffer was, I don't even have any control over it. I don't even have any control over the outcome. And when you understand that you didn't have no control over the outcome, then you have to put, that's a buffer that you can put in place in your psychological well-being and say, I didn't even have control over that. I had no say so in that. Now, if I did, I would have probably did something different so my child could still be here on earth. If I remember the universe asked me, I'm gonna let y'all go. I remember him saying to me, during the time of my incarceration, I was in there with real murderers, right? And I was in there with people that had life plus 15, which means if they already had been in there 15 years before I got there, they still have an elbow. We call it elbow. They had a life sentence plus 15 more years, which means they died and came back to life. They still got 15 more years after that. And so I'm walking on the compound with people with this type of mentality. I've been in the area of individuals with this type of construct in their lives right then at that moment. And at the same time, the universe took me back to the point that he said, had I not taken you off the street and secluded you, that's a separation from society. That's a seclusion. That's segregation. He segregated me from the society by which I probably wouldn't even be here right now today had I not went to prison. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that ironic that probably if I not went that 3.5 years that I had to go and serve for something I didn't even do. That's what I'm talking about in the book. Y'all got to read the book in order to see how it all went down. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, my life was still preserved in there. And I'm walking around and people that will kill you in a drop of a dime because they have no reason not to, when in fact they already got a life sentence. What more time can you get if you got a life sentence already? What more time? They give you a double life? Like what does that mean? Like, what does that mean if you got a life sentence already and you walking and somebody step on your toe and you just in your feelings at that moment about the fact that you in this place, you done been in this place 30 years before this dude got here and he coming here talking slick and this man done been locked up 36 years before you even got here. He done been in prison 36 years before you got here. You just got here 3 months ago and you want to talk slick? Nah, sit down somewhere. And I believe that every man, I don't know why I'm on this subject right now, y'all. I believe that every man in the world should go through that, should experience that. Because if they experience that, they wouldn't be out here killing like that. They wouldn't back because they know they don't want to go back there. They ain't gonna want to go in there. They ain't gonna want to. A lot of these people that's so apt to pull a gun out and kill somebody, that's where you headed to. You headed to that for the rest of your life. Man, you gonna walk away. You gonna walk away on a different assignment because you ain't gonna want to deal with that every day for the rest of your life, unless you just. But yeah, so I'm thankful that my feet, and I could talk about this now. I could talk about this now. I mean, one time in my life, I wouldn't even use my real name because I was so embarrassed about the fact that I ranked the Davis last name. I was so embarrassed about that, y'all. About the fact that I actually, and so I'm here now. My life was preserved. And if the universe used prison to preserve my life and give me more chance to get my mind right, to be rehabilitated and transformed, I think that was a blessing. I think that was a blessing because I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. At 55, I'm still here. Double nickels. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still out here. I'm in the right frame of mind. I'm still writing a book, Out the Gate with a Lemon. It's coming soon. This is my little drop. Y'all don't look at y'all just don't look at my little thing. It's coming soon. I'll write my book right now. That's the cover sheet for it. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm gonna use that same cover. That's why I should show it to y'all. But Out the Gate with the Lemon is coming soon, y'all. Y'all keep me in your prayers. I solicit y'all prayers. You know what I'm saying? I just have a heart for the people now. And my mind is clear. And I went from chaos to clarity. I literally done went from chaos to clarity. I really stepped into clarity right now. I'm clear on my assignment. I'm clear on my intentions. I'm clear on what he would have me to do. I actually went from disorder. He has called me out of disorder. The universe has called me out of disorder into divine order. And whatever the repercussions are for me moving from disorder into divine order, I'm going to vibe with whatever it is. I don't have no other choice because I feel like my life here on this earth is predicated upon me being obedient to his call upon my life. Like I don't have no other way right now. You know what I'm saying? So if he done called me and caused chaos to leave my life and then move me right into clarity, then I'm here in clarity. I'm standing in clarity right now. Clarity got to be on the alkaline side of my thoughts. Chaos got to be down here. And I done lived in chaos before. So this is chaos. This is clarity. This is delay and denial. And this is divine deliverance. Right here. The divine deliverance is right here. That's on the alkaline side of thought. And so I done made an hour and 8 minutes, y'all. I'm thankful for y'all, the ones that ride out with me. May the Lord be blessed, be a blessing in your life. May through my words that I speak into this live and speak into the ears and the minds of the people will eventually take root in somebody's life and move from chaos to clarity like I had to do. I had to move from chaos to clarity. I had to move from being delayed and denial into divine deliverance and divine direction. That's what he just said. You got divine direction. That's what it is. Divine direction. I've been divinely directed to open this laptop and talk to the minds of the people. And that's all I'm going to do right now. I don't have no other choice in the matter but talk to the minds of the people. That's it. And so as I talk to their minds and help them out in their walk, I've walked this thing out already 55 years. I got 40 more to go, true enough. But I better help somebody along the way. I ain't going to wait till I get to 95 and then start trying to talk about this stuff. No, I got to talk about this stuff now. That's what we're going to have to do. I've been divinely directed to open that laptop and talk to my people. And I'm going to do it. I don't have no other choice. Because I think the first day that I would have been disrespectful or disobedient, because respectful got to be up here. Disrespectful got to be down here. Just like obedient got to be right here. Disobedient got to be on the acidic side of your thoughts. If you just being disobedient, if you're just walking in disobedience, right? Disobedience got to be down here, y'all. Obedience got to be up here. Obedience got to be on the alkaline side of your thoughts. When you operating in obedience, it got to be here. Disobedience got to be down here. Just like attraction got to be right here. Distraction got to be right here. You got to be distracted. Distracted got to be on the acidic side of thoughts. If you're distracted, so yeah, out the gate with a lemon, coming soon. We're gonna move forward. I'm writing this book. Y'all keep me in your prayers as I write. Sometimes you get writer's block. Sometimes you just can't get those words out the way you could speak it. And y'all see how fluent and eloquent and affluent that my conversation comes sometimes. That sometimes it's better for me to do it this way. And I think that maybe the reason why he told me to get this assignment, open up the laptop and talk, was because he's preparing me for the inevitable. The inevitable will eventually happen, is that I will stand before his children and tell my testimony, man. Without a test, without those first 4 letters, how would you ever get to testimony part? How would you ever get to the testimony part if you can't get through the first 4 letters of that word, which is test? You got to go through the test in order to get the testimony. You can't, there's no way you get to the testimony part, y'all. Y'all got to go through the test. So don't stop running from the test. Every time the test come about, you start running from it like, oh, I got to maneuver my way. And I used to be one of those individuals. And so right now at this moment, think about this for a second. How you going to get to the SS's if you ain't willing to go through those first 4 letters of the mess? In order to have a message, you got to go through mess in order to have a message. Ooh-wee. In order to have a testimony, you got to go through the test. There's no way that you can go through any other part in order to get the testimony without going through the first 4 letters of that word. And so we got to go through the testimony. We got to go through the test in order to get the testimony. Just like how we got to go through the mess in order to have a message for the people. And I've been through a lot of mess in my life. And so now it's time for me to give back in some shape, form, or fashion. It's time for me to give back to the people. Like I done took from people. I done did stuff that I wasn't supposed to do. I done been, and now this is years of me having to go through it. So now it's time for me to give back psychologically. You know what I'm saying? I have to give back to them through my mind, through my thoughts, through my spoken word. I got to give back to the earth. I got to give back to the earth. I do. I have to give back to the earth. And this is how, maybe this is where he has me at this moment. Maybe I have to do this for the people and for the minds of the individuals who are going to hear me eventually. Even if the people that's not online right now. How about this? How about these messages is going to be helpful to some people that come back behind me that know I done been there and done that. I have been there and done that, y'all. I have been there and done that. Yes, I have. And I'm not proud to say it. And I used to be so embarrassed. Ooh-wee. I used to be so embarrassed. So embarrassed. And now he got me out here on a live telling my testimony and telling my story on live. That's only him. That's only him. I would have never done this on my own. And that's the truth of the matter. I would have never done this. But insight that he's given me, it drives a stronger performance. Insight does. It drives a stronger performance. And maybe the insight that he's given me to talk to the minds of his children would drive a stronger performance in your life. So you don't have to live it the way I did. Maybe you can live vicariously through me and know that that is not the route to go. If I could have changed it, I would have. If I could prevent it, I'll do whatever needs to be done to prevent anybody from going down the path that I went. But I'm here now. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I feel like I'm honored in the capacity by which I am a person in the human race. I'm a human being. I'm human. We all make mistakes. There's no human here on earth that haven't made a mistake. That's why I know that it cannot be based on ethnicity. Everybody in the whole earth done made a mistake. Everybody in the whole earth has sinned and come short of his glory. Everybody. Not one person have ever done. Not one. And so who are we to look down our nose at people that made bad decisions? They made bad decisions. They're going to have to live with that decision that they made. And they can still come up out of it. I done made bad decisions. And look at me now. You know what I'm saying? My past is my past. It's just that my past is my past. My past is my past. I can't do anything in this world to go back into my past and correct anything that I've ever done. And you can't either. You can't go back into your past and correct nothing that you've ever done in the past. You can't correct it. You can't correct that. You can't correct it. You could go back and try to straighten it out a little bit, but you can't really go back and undo what you did. And so, be careful. I remember one of my good Jamaican buddies. I don't know why I'm talking to y'all like this. I remember one of my good Jamaican buddies. While I was incarcerated, long dreads. He had dreads all the way down to the back of his knee. He was a Rasta, a real Rasta. He said, Crispy. He used to call me Cripsy. Hey, Cripsy. Hey, Cripsy. He couldn't never get Crispy. He's like, Cripsy. Hey, Cripsy. Watch your character. That's what he used to tell me all the time. Be careful of your character. That's what he used to tell me all the time. I remember that too. That was in the 90s, I think. That was in the 90s. He was like, watch your character. He was saying your character. Be careful about your character. Your character. Be careful about your character. Your character. Be careful. Because people are watching you. They're watching you. They want to see. People want to know what kind of character this person have. You know what I'm saying? He's like, watch your character. And I remember that. I remember that to this day. He was like, be careful of your character. Watch your character. Watch who you are. Watch what you say. Watch how you move. You know what I'm saying? Be careful. Because it's real. And at the same time, I'm gone. Y'all, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I've moved from chaos to clarity on my assignment. And I don't have no other choice but to speak to the minds of the people. And whatever the result will come down, I think I'll be victorious because of my obedience. And so I thank y'all for tapping in. I thank y'all for chiming in. I thank y'all for allowing me this opportunity to speak to your mind. Hopefully I said something that will alter, change, prohibit, you from going down the same path that I went down. Early on in my life, I went down these paths. And I'm talking about it in my book. And the only common thread throughout the whole entire up, down, trial, trib, the only common thread was his hand was upon my life throughout the whole process. And I'm here right now. I'm here because of him. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I respect y'all. I recognize. I stand in strength and I stand in freedom. I'm free. I'm free to talk about this now. Half my life is gone. So I can stand in freedom now and herald, proclaim to the masses. Now I can. And once upon a time I could not. But he freed me. And he gave me the status with all them little foo-foos on the wall. That is what society say. Okay, well, you've completed this course and you've completed this amount of hours and you've done these amount of things and you've made you've done these amount of prerequisites and these amount of qualifications that qualify you to have these societal's type perspective, societal's degrees on the wall and this this is society stuff. But how about the stuff that you was born with out your mother's womb? A lot of this stuff came from an innate ability, INNATE. This is innate abilities. I came out my mother's womb with this. And so I thank God for her who birthed me into the earth. And it was a season of time for that. I'm talking about it in my book. That it came down, that pike where we came down through a pike. P-I-K-E. We came down through this pike in the earth. And at that moment, at that second, at that minute, at that very moment, you were birthed into the atmosphere with a fingerprint that nobody else has ever had. Ooh-wee. Can you imagine the 17? I ain't even talking about the beginning of the time. Let's just talk about the 1700s, 1800, 1900. Let's talk about that. You mean to tell me not one person ever have the same fingerprint as you? Not one other individual has ever had the same fingerprint as you? You are an extraordinary being. We have to, and I think we have to honor the universe in that construct in our minds, that we know that we're here on this earth as an extraordinary person. We're extraordinary. We're not normal. We're not an ordinary individual. We are, each and every one of us is extraordinary because just the fingerprint on our hand, just our fingerprint has never been duplicated. Ooh-wee. And so I'm an hour and 24 minutes in. All right, y'all. I got to go. It's been a good session. It's been a good blessing. It's just been a good talk. I just want to talk to the minds of the people. I've been instructed to do. I talk to the minds of the individuals that I've been instructed to do. I thank y'all for tapping in. I thank y'all for tuning in with me. I thank y'all for just being here and hear my heart, hear my mind, hear my soul. I'm going to pour it all out. I'm gonna just pour out. I don't have no other choice but to pour right now. And he'll pour back into me. I have a reservoir with him. And the universe, he'll pour back into me as I continue to pour my spirit out into the world through this live. And so I thank y'all for tapping in. I thank y'all for being here. I thank y'all for honoring me in that perspective. I honor you back in the same perspective. Peace and blessings to y'all as we go into this weekend. Y'all be careful out here. Just be careful. It's so much stuff in the atmosphere right now that we have to contend with. There's so many things in the atmosphere that we have to contend with. And that's just a given right now, considering the situation that we have going on in every aspect of the word, politics, in the world, So it's just where we are. Y'all duck off in your own little personal little space and stay alive. And even then, we still gonna have to endure some stuff. And so y'all be blessed. Y'all be careful. I'll talk to y'all another time. Next week, Monday, I'm here bright and early, 9 o'clock in the 9 o'clock hour, Monday through Thursday. And the 9 o'clock hour is my assignment. Y'all be blessed. We'll talk another time.